What's going on, everyone? Today we are going to test out different jets behind the basket or the boom and see which one is the best to refuel in. We'll start this mission on the same weather template behind a KC-135. We'll use different aircraft. We will not be using any of the Russian aircraft. I don't really have a lot of stick time behind them, so it would be kind of unfair to compare them. But we will use most of the Western aircraft I fly, and we'll just kind of see how they handle behind the baskets or their booms respectively. This is going to be a very subjective test because I'm the one that's flying it. My stick setup's probably different than yours. I don't use an extension, it's all one-to-one direct fill. I'm not running curves on basically any of my aircraft at this point. So, maybe I could mitigate some of the bounciness I experience, but that's kind of what we're looking at. Let's get into it. Alright, it's Viper time. Let's see how we do getting behind the tanker in the F-16.
Ready, pre-contact. Cleared contact.
Now the Viper has excellent forward visibility. All I have to do is slot in and hold position with the tanker. I never have to put that much gas in an F-16. Doesn't hold that much. And so the challenge just becomes getting this little twitchy jet exactly where you want it and holding it there.
Contact.
Okay, we're stable now.
You're taking fuel.
I'm just trying to manage those PIOs, my velocity, my altitude, just like any other aircraft, except just a little twitchier. I disconnected. Come on now. Don't be shy.
Contact.
There you go. Not so bad.
You're taking fuel. Transfer complete.
Yeah, that was never gonna take a long time. Thanks for scratching my windscreen there, boom operator. Appreciate it. So, twitchy, which makes it challenging, but at least I don't have to sit there for 10 minutes like in a Strike Eagle. Completely different experiences. Alright, now let's see how the Tomcat fares. Okay, we put the wings back to bomb mode. Check. Getting buffeted a little bit already. Now watch my closure rate here. Add some trim. Probe out.
Ready, recontact. Cleared contact.
Hey, let the fun begin.
Little left.
Nope.
Contact.
Hey, I got the basket.
Tree is thirsty.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
Fuel 9,000.
Nope.
Oh, I lost the basket.
Wow, that was so close. Just a bit to the left.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
Good, you're in.
Nope.
No.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
Nice, we're in.
Doing this with the Tomcat's so manual. It's just like everything else with this jet, but man,
Fuel 11,500.
I'm really working for it here. Just do my best to stay in the same spot. It's so obscured out of the front end of this aircraft, though. Really hard to do formation. Very challenging aircraft. So big, too.
Fuel 14,000.
Almost there.
Transfer complete. Disconnect.
Holy heck, we did it.
Transfer complete.
Sweet. All right, time to try the Hoover. Now, the Harrier's super tricky. Your positioning matters more than anything because that probe is right at my head and right at my eye level, so I can't really afford to look back at the probe. I have to make sure that my lineup's good. The Harrier's probably one of the trickier planes to fly in this game, but let's see how easy we can get into that basket. Gonna get it trimmed up real nice.
Ready, recontact. Clear contact. Contact.
Hey, first try.
You're taking fuel.
I mean, it's not too hard to get into the right area with the Harrier, but that precision that you just can't see, it makes it really tricky. Now I'm just working on staying in reference areas. Constantly pushing the throttle back and forth. Trying to stay in that precision area. Just get this bird back up to snuff here, get some juice in it, and I popped out of the basket. You definitely feel it as this aircraft gets heavier and heavier. It becomes very sluggish, harder to control, harder to keep in the basket. Game's cheating for me again. Alright, next up, the F-18 Hornet. Let's see how we do here. The Hornet has an auto throttle, so once we get the speed we need, theoretically could hit that button and it would maintain the throttles for us, which takes out a lot of guesswork. Because sometimes you can be wrestling with the throttle quite a bit. And the probe is very much center-lined with the aircraft. That's pretty close anyway. So you really just fly the nose into the basket. That makes things pretty easy. It's right in my front field of view. I don't have to try to look off to the side. Hornet makes life pretty easy with the probe and drogue refuel system. Okay, closing in, keeping it nice and steady.
Contact.
No drama. No drama whatsoever.
You're taking fuel.
Now it's just a matter of maintaining my formation. So right now I could hit the auto throttle. I'm not going to, but it would help maintain the position. Just flying a little too slow there. Came off the basket. That's on me, not on the jet.
Contact.
There we go. It's really easy to get.
Taking fuel.
It's really easy to get back in the basket once you fall off. Not too fussy about it.
Transfer complete.
Next up, the F4. Let's see how this bird handles it. I can tell it's going to be problematic because I can't see squat in front of me.
Next turn point is updated.
Ready, pre-contact. Cleared contact.
Go forward 15 feet. She is thirsty.
You're taking fuel.
You're charging the boom. Drifting up. Careful, you're about to fall off. Hey, you are drifting aft. Let's try again. 10 feet forward.
Contact.
Down 4 feet.
Transfer complete. Disconnect.
Actually, not that bad. A lot of fighting, but we were able to stay in the boom. Disconnected right as we got all the fuel we needed. The thing that makes the A10 such a bear is that you can't see the lineup lights. It's obscured by the boom itself. A10 is tricky to refuel, has very little power. We're all flying slow as hell. Let's see what happens. So easy to slide out of position in the A10.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
I'm all over the place. It's so hard to stay stable back here. Yeah, at least makes it a little easy as I can see the colors on the boom. That gives me a pretty good reference. We try to keep the green exposed. I'm all over the place with this bird. That being said, we're flying so slow, it's easy not to get too over aggressive. But I am constantly fighting the stick and the throttle. But hey, I'm doing better than in the Tomcat.
Transfer complete.
Look at that.
Disconnect.
I didn't even disconnect on that run. Alright, let's see how the baguette does. What I like about the Mirage 2000 is it actually has an acceleration vector. It's the two inverted carrots pointing at each other horizontally on the heads-up display. It actually tells you if you're accelerating or not. This should theoretically make getting into formation with this tanker much easier. But we'll see. Full disclosure, I have never tried refueling in the M2000. But so far, this thing is smooth as butter. Now let's see what happens as we close in on this basket.
Contact.
What?
You're taking fuel.
What?
Transfer complete. Disconnect.
You have got to be kidding me. The baguette? Really? Alright, now it's time to try the Mud Hen. And the Strike Eagle is an awesome aircraft. One thing that makes it tricky to refuel is how much fuel it actually holds. When you plug in behind the tanker on this plane, you're gonna be here a while. 50%. I have 50% fuel and 2 empty drop tanks. It's gonna be a hot minute. Let's see how well we can hold back here. Nice thing is, that boom is going to go over my left shoulder back there. I only have to focus on staying where the lights are. Managing my reference points, and the visibility out of the Strike Eagle is not too shabby. Bow is big, but it's not as big or cumbersome as other planes.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
I might need to trim down a smidge. Oh, yeah, it popped out. Yeah. A little bit of PIO. Let's try again. Let's reset and try again.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
I gotta check my trim here. It keeps wanting to pitch up very harshly. I'm putting a lot of downward force on the stick, which is gonna increase my fatigue staying in this position. I don't know if it's a jet or if it's my setup, so a little reluctant to throw in the towel on it, but it's definitely challenging. And when you factor in how long I'm gonna have to stay plugged in back here, that's definitely a downside.
Transfer complete.
Hey, look at that.
Disconnect.
I think I just put 20,000 pounds of fuel in this thing. Holy smokes. Alright, so this one's just a mod, so we're doing this just for fun, but you know, we've tried a lot of different aircraft, and I think, you know, we've kind of demonstrated some of the things we like about what makes an aircraft a good air refueling platform. And kind of like we touched on, that's going to be a plane's ability to fly steady, your ability to control the plane, and how it handles at different flight control regimes. So a plane with fly-by-wire is probably going to have a better time than a plane without. A plane that has to get way more gas is going to struggle more than a plane that doesn't. What have you guys thought so far? Is there a particular plane that you're really fond of that refuels well or perhaps doesn't? I can tell you I have a couple that maybe I'm not so fond of refueling in.
Nope.
But here we go. So here's a list of my favorite jets to refuel in DCS. Let me know what your thoughts are and if you agree or not.
Number 3, the F-16C Viper. With its excellent forward visibility, excellent maneuverability, and ability to stay in position where you need it to, the F-16 is an easy aircraft to refuel. You'll never have to stay plugged in for very long because, frankly, there's not a lot of gas to put in the jet. It is a very twitchy aircraft, but once you have it figured out, it's easy to stay plugged in. And that's why the F-16 is number 3. Number 2, FA-18C Hornet. Another aircraft with an excellent forward visibility. The probe is placed in an ideal position to know exactly where you have to plug in. It has great control, and with its auto throttles, makes staying in position with the tanker very simple. There's a reason why the Blue Angels flew the FA-18C for so long. And it's an ideal platform for staying in tight formations. Number 1, the Baguette. I was incredibly impressed with just how simple it was to get into position with the tanker. The visual references of the acceleration makes staying in the exact right position a piece of cake. The probe is positioned in an ideal location, and the jet handles amazingly. It is incredibly simple to stay in a fantastic position and get all the gas you need to get this aircraft topped off. That's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys all really enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. But I hope it was enjoyable nonetheless. Let me know what you thought about my top 3. If you agree, disagree, what your favorite aircraft are. Like for more, subscribe if you're new here, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. This has been Raptor Rising. Raptor out!